Now in its 10th year, this is GabNet. Talk like you've never heard it before.
Hey, everybody. It's me. It's Alex, and we're live from New York and the Ramble. Now, there's a guy we haven't seen for a while.
Yep, that would be me.
Yep.
How you doing, buddy?
And you probably wonder why, because we like Chuck Farnham and we love having him on the show. And we of course couldn't have him on the show. Excuse me, my nose is dripping.
Nice.
I'm like an old man. I carry a tissue everywhere now.
Keep it in your bra.
Yeah, keep it in my bra. Anyway, so we usually have him on, and he hasn't been on for
3 weeks.
3 weeks, 4 weeks, something like that. And there's a reason for that. And Chuck, would you like to tell him why you haven't been on? What is your excuse?
It goes back to that trip to Vegas, and I was not feeling well, and I went to the hospital, and they kept me for a few days and tested the crap out of me. Did nothing.
Yeah.
So a few weeks ago, everything went away, and I was fine. And a few weeks ago, I had the pain again. And I thought, well, I'm going to go to the clinic. About halfway to the clinic, I decided to reroute myself to the hospital. And the hospital ran a bunch of tests, and they went, man, we can't fix whatever it is here. We think you have an ulcer. So they throw me in an ambulance, drive me 65 miles to Reno to another hospital.
Was the siren on? Was the siren on?
No, and that's where I screwed up.
That's what happened with us. I went to use this ambulance, and then Marjorie used the ambulance, and no siren. And I'm going, I want my money's worth. Come on.
I got 50 miles, no siren. Right. So I get there, and I'm laying in ER, I guess, or wherever they put me.
So far, the story is hilarious, by the way. Go ahead.
Huh?
So far, this story is hilarious.
Yeah, it's great. And then I'm laying there. And the guy goes, I go, do you know what's wrong? They told me I had an ulcer. And he goes, no, you have a gallbladder issue. We see the gall stones. And I'm like, okay, fine, whatever. What do we do? And he goes, well, you're on a blood thinner. So we're going to send you upstairs, and you're going to lay there for 2 days on morphine. And then we can remove it. So now, $65,000 worth of blood tests. I sit in the hospital. I'm laying there ordering DoorDash. And they come in and they take me into the surgery on a Sunday. Nobody's in the hospital on a Sunday for surgery. They don't schedule them. So I get up there and the guy goes, you know what we're doing to you? And I went, my gallbladder. And he goes, no, we got this new Da Vinci robot that has 8 arms, and we're going to take it out. And I'm like, I was scared to death. I'm like, how new is this? This is Reno. And so he goes, no. I did 5 of these this week. And I'm like, to pets? I mean, what are you talking here, dude? And he goes, no, I can do this. This is really good. It creates a 3D model of the inside of your body. And the robot then, with cameras and GPS or whatever the hell, goes in, takes the gallbladder out, and then when the little arms extract themselves from your body, it squirts crazy glue into the holes and seals everything up. Pretty cool. Several $1 million piece of equipment. $60,000 to clean it after they do you. And now
it costs them $60,000 to clean it.
Yeah.
I hate to see your bill.
Yeah, I can't wait for that one. But I have these like I don't know if you can see them here, but maybe I can tip it in here. You see them little holes?
Yeah,
That's all it was.
that's all it was.
No band-aids, no nothing. And so they let me go a couple of days later. And I said, I thought this was like in and out surgery, no big deal anymore. And he goes, no, yeah, your age is a big deal.
Everything at our age is a big deal.
Yeah, and I'm like, okay, fine. When am I going to recover? And then I get a phone call from a doctor a couple days later, and he goes, I'd look at 6 months before you feel normal again, like I ever felt normal. But that's where I'm at, and I'm eating kind of weird, and you don't poop anymore like you used to poop. You know, you used to poop and it would come out in solid pieces, kind of.
But do we have to hear this?
Probably. This is the best part.
It comes out like a solid piece of
drainage now.
What?
It's kind of like a drainage now. It's not like you have diarrhea, but it's not like you're actually pooping. Kind of in between sludge is what I've been calling it.
Okay, you can all tune out now, folks.
Hey, now that you've had breakfast. But I haven't had to change my diet much. I'm just eating a lot less over longer periods of time.
Yeah. So anyway,
how are you feeling?
Well, first I got a couple of questions about this.
Okay. Yes, sir.
To begin with, the robot. I never heard of this thing before.
It's called a Da Vinci. And
I go up to Mount Sinai here.
That's a relatively large hospital.
Large, well-known, well-equipped hospital. Except when it came time to do my my putting of the seeds in my prostate, they had to send me back home because somebody forgot to order one piece.
Nice.
Right. And it was a little thing that goes on your taint and then guides the needles in. Okay.
Ugh.
Anyway. Well,
okay.
I wasn't feeling it. I would, but anyway,
you were sleeping.
They didn't order it. This is a big hospital. They forgot to order one little piece that he needs to do the operation.
Did they give you fentanyl when they?
No.
No, they did me. I asked the guy. I said, "What kind of?" The anesthesiologist comes in and he's crazy. That guy was like Rodney Dangerfield over my head. And he's cracking jokes and stuff. And he goes, I go, am I getting fentanyl? And he goes, yeah, but not the stuff from Mexico. He goes, I only order from the United States. And I went, okay. He goes,
like you would order fentanyl from Mexico?
Apparently, I don't know. It's Reno, the hospital. But
anyway, the point I was trying to make is they didn't have this little part. But it's a big hospital. It's a big major hospital. Right. I mean, they've got every piece of new equipment you would ever think of. I bet if I asked them about the Da Vinci spider, they never heard of it.
I bet it's called the Da Vinci XI. And if you look it up, there's plenty of stuff on it, and it's really cool. It was really, really cool. Or it was some guy,
Yeah.
Made in a garage.
Apparently, it does its job.
Really cool.
What else does it remove?
No.
What else does it remove?
I don't know. I'm thinking they use it for other things. I think maybe kidney removal too.
Yeah, I would imagine that.
Yeah.
Appendix. I think they could do appendix with it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's like he sticks his head in it. And he's got these arms, and because I saw a little video later, and you can kind of see the inside of your guts while it's happening. It's amazing. Probably $1 billion bill I'll be getting, or what do you call it? Medicare will be enjoying that.
Well, Medicare will have to take care of 80% of it, whatever it is.
Right.
And then you have what for the other?
Blue Cross. I got the Cross.
But it's it's Advantage, right?
No, it's regular insurance.
Oh, you pay the $300 a month. like we do.
Right.
Yeah, but when you walk out, you don't owe anything. They can send you a
Exactly.
bill. You don't owe anything.
Right. That's why I didn't go with Advantage,
Well,
because Advantage was not, it didn't feel comfortable to me.
it's not.
So
It's not comfortable.
even,
And I'm warning anybody out there listening to me: do not get Advantage. It looks
yeah,
good because they give you, I don't know, they give you a pot holder or something with it or something.
right. Get a jacket.
But what it is basically the insurance company replaces Medicare.
Yeah.
Okay, and they pick up all the costs that Medicare would pick up, but you don't have Medicare anymore.
Right. You're being managed.
And if you want to go back to Medicare, it's a lot of work.
Yeah.
So don't lose your Medicare. Pay the $320 a month or whatever. Get this other thing. I mean, we shouldn't have to do any of that, okay? The government should take care of the whole thing, but they don't.
Yeah.
It's what's called compromise, which I think compromise is a bad word in my vocabulary.
like
People go, you don't want to
screwing old people
compromise?
like
No,
you're doing.
because if I compromise, I have got to take my expectations and lower them. Okay?
Yeah.
You know.
Oh, I wanted this, but no, I can't have it because 4 guys got pissed off in a vote. Yeah, I don't understand it. As a matter of fact, when I went down and started looking at Advantage plans, even the Advantage guy goes, no, man, you don't want, no, keep what you got. You got a really good thing going. And it's worked out. I mean, I get really strange bills that aren't really bills, but man, you see some of the charges for some of those pills and stuff. It's like
Yeah, but
insane.
it's all that is sent to Medicare, and then Medicare for the other 20% sends it over to Blue Cross, and they take care of all of it. So you don't have to
Right.
worry. You're home free.
Yeah.
Plus, you made
Yeah,
friends with a spider.
good.
You know.
Me and the spider took care of everything, and the doc says I'm doing okay. So,
Yeah, but you were in the hospital a total of how much?
geez, 7 days.
7 days. Wow. Son
Because
of
I
a-
was on the blood thinner, and they can't do anything when you're on Xarelto.
Yeah. So they had to
Very
wait.
good.
They had to wait for the blood thinner to thin or whatever.
Exactly. They had to wait. It takes 48 hours for it to leave my system. So 49 hours they were sticking me in the spider.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I'll send you the video.
Now, you
It's pretty
said you
nice.
ordered out. Here's interesting. You said you ordered out to DoorDash?
DoorDash.
DoorDash? What is it called?
Yeah. DoorDash.
DoorDash. Why?
Yeah.
Was the food that bad in the hospital?
Well, they're feeding you a liquid diet because the gallbladder is still inside you and trying to fix things.
Well, wait a minute.
the
But you then
stones are-
ordered from DoorDash,
Right.
which worked
I've done it before
around
with
the
the
fact
hospital.
that you needed not have certain things, right?
Yeah, well, I'm not ordering a steak through DoorDash. I was ordering, like Jamba Juice and stuff.
Oh, okay. All right.
Something
Did the hospital,
liquid-ish.
did the hospital
that was
mind?
not.
The hospital mind?
No,
They
I
said,
have never been questioned about my DoorDash at a hospital yet.
oh,
I mean,
really?
last time I was in the hospital, the guy next to me was smoking weed.
Really?
Okay. Smoking weed in the hospital. He goes, hey, you want some? I'm like, you can't do that here. He goes, I thought it was just cigarettes. Marijuana's legal. I go, dude, you cannot smoke anything in the hospital.
Well, did he have a vape?
No, oh no. No,
Well,
he
because
had
a
joints.
vape you can get away with because a vape doesn't,
Right. Well, some hotels now have vape sensors in the rooms.
They have vape
That's right.
sensors.
Yeah, they can tell that air smoke mixture or something.
They become real Nazis, haven't they?
Yeah, you're paying for the damn room. I mean, how many times have you checked in a room back in the 80s where it smelled like smoke? Most of the rooms smell like smoke for a long time.
Hell, your
Not
doctor
anymore.
came in smoking.
Yeah. So that guy checked himself out, which apparently is a common thing to do at the hospital these days.
I mean,
I don't know.
Here's some things you don't see that often: ashtrays.
Well, no, and I have a large collection of ashtrays.
Do you really?
When I was a kid, like 14, we were in Vegas with my cousins, and at night we would, when you could do it, walk between all the casinos, and we would steal the ashtrays because they had the logos of the casinos on them.
Mm-hmm.
So I probably have 100 casino ashtrays here from when we were doing that.
Oh, when you die, will you will them to me?
Sure.
Okay, good.
I'll send you out some now, so you have them for the holidays.
Well, I'll tell you what, Marjorie keeps bugging me. Well, we have to go work on our will. We have a will. Marjorie sent away to an online will service.
Sure, Mary's wills of.
Well, it probably would hold. I mean, everything I have goes to Marjorie. Everything Marjorie has comes to me, and that's it. But we got to name a new, what do you call it? Who's the person?
Executor?
Executor. And we want to change a few things, like who all our money goes to if we die, because when we wrote this other one up, we didn't have much money, right? We just had my savings and her savings, and it probably would have taken care of us for the rest of our lives, but not in the extravagant style in which we're currently living. Okay. So consequently, we needed to,
fix that.
So we got to fix that, because now we got a lot of money and it's got to go somewhere if we die. So we decided here. Tell me I'm wrong, okay? Nobody's told me I'm wrong yet. I asked a pediatrician I know. I said, "Have you ever heard anything bad about St. Jude's Hospital?"
Okay. Yeah. No.
No,
not at all.
No,
ever.
I've asked several other people, "Have you heard anything bad about them?" And I look them up online, and no. In fact, 92% of all their money goes directly towards the hospital, and I'm wondering if that other 8% includes salaries for doctors. You know, so I mean, it seems reasonable to me. And then
you trust Danny Thomas.
This pediatrician also suggested you might look into the Shriners.
Right.
Because the Shriners have a hospital, she said, in Sacramento that basically serves California.
They had a big one in San Francisco on 19.
Oh, do they have a Shriners hospital?
Yeah, it's huge. It's like multiple blocks on 19th Avenue.
Is that Shriners for kids, though?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, she said
that
whereas St. Jude's deals with, like, diseases, okay.
Right.
Shriners deals with, like, bad legs and...
Yeah, they feel like prosthetics.
The prosthetics and so on, So we might split up the money between the two of them,
That makes sense.
Not that they're going to build another wing because of the money we're giving.
Yeah, you'll get the little Alex wing. That'll be nice.
And it's not going to have my name like Danny Thomas on the front of the building.
Well, it would be nice. Yeah, big at the top there.
It just amazes me that I'm going to give my money to a guy I used to watch on TV.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And his son-in-law who passed away here recently as well.
Oh, did he really? We went there. We actually went to St. Jude's Hospital, Shecky and I, when we were traveling across the country, because we wanted to go to the Danny Thomas Museum. They have the museum there.
Really?
Yeah, we went to the Danny Thomas Museum in search of a glass coffee table, but we couldn't find it. So we were going to ask the person there, "Can you tell us where the glass coffee table is?" I had a friend, Karen Babbitt.
That's good.
whose father, by the way, worked for Disney and created the witch in Snow White.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, Art Babbitt. He went to strike against Disney and then had to kind of leave Disney after a while.
Nice.
But anyway, Karen got a job working on the last of Danny Thomas's TV shows. I think he played a doctor or something.
Wow.
And as she was hired on as a writer. And she was asked to go to Danny Thomas's office to meet with him. And she sits down on the couch. He's not there yet. And right in front of her is a glass coffee table. Now, we're not going to go into what the legend of Danny Thomas
The legend
was.
of the glass coffee table?
Yeah, well, the Danny Thomas liked to hire, shall we say, women of the night. In this case, it might have been women of the day, to come and relieve themselves on the top of the coffee table while he laid under it.
Yeah, I know.
Now, this rumor has been going on forever. So I don't know, is it the truth or not? That's the question.
Good story.
Huh? It's a great story.
It's a good story.
Yeah.
I did a thing one time in the city. It was raining really bad, and we were going to hire a hooker to, well, she thought we were going to have sex with her in a car in the rain. The reality is I just wanted her to masturbate in the car while we circled the car with a video camera. I thought that would be interesting in the rain. And it all went really well. She weighed about 325, 350. Mm-hmm. But when we left, after we, got paid her or whatever, we're driving home and we couldn't figure out what the smell was. And it was, apparently she hadn't bathed in a month or so. So we borrowed the car from somebody's mom.
Oh.
We're driving, we're driving home, but all we could smell is, it's like old socks in the car. So we had to drive home with the windows down and leave them cracked at her house so she wouldn't smell it in the morning when she went to work.
Wow.
So, I can relate to Danny's problem.
Yeah. Well, anyway, the Danny Thomas rumor, of course, persisted forever. But nobody ever knew whether it was true or not.
It's a good one.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, it paints a nice picture.
It gives me more respect for him.
Yeah. He's a lot more open than we thought he was.
Yeah. But he was a very religious guy, and he opened this hospital called St. Jude's. And when he did it, when I was a kid, I knew about it because he was the story that he'd started this hospital. And I went, that ain't going to go far. All these people in show business, they do stuff like that. And next thing you know, it doesn't exist anymore. Well, this thing has not only existed, it's existed for, 50, 60 years.
SF General, right? Hospital. Yeah. You've known this hospital for, you know what it's called now?
What's it called?
Zuckerberg Hospital.
Oh, yes, I heard about that.
And he put his name on it. Zuckerberg Chan Hospital.
Was that San Francisco? That was San Francisco General.
Yeah.
That's where my friend Warren Thomas. That's where Warren Thomas went because he had phlebitis, and they gave him blood transfusions, and he got AIDS.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yep. So that's what they did there, and
I don't know if he died of AIDS. He died of something. They found him in his apartment here in New York a couple of days after he had died. But I don't think it was as a result of AIDS. And it wasn't as a result of any drugs either,
Or the 40 billion women he slept with.
Huh? What did you say?
I said, or the 40 billion women he slept with.
Yes, well, he was good at that. The women did love Warren,
It was kind of professional. It was like professional comedian, professional slut. That was Warren.
Yeah. Well, listen, I'm glad to hear that you're feeling better.
I'm good. I need a vacation.
You need a vacation, right?
I've been looking at the trains in your direction. So,
Oh, okay. Well, we always got a room you can stay in here for a couple of days. Don't stay too
sure.
long because I need the
No,
room. But
no, I can't be dealing. That'll be just about right for me, I think.
yeah. Anyway, let's talk to you in a couple of weeks, okay? That's
All right, buddy.
sound good to you, ladies and gentlemen? That's Chuck Farnham. Bye, Chuck. See you
Bye,
later.
kiddies.
Now in its 10th year, this is Gabnet. Talk like you've never heard it before.
Okay, hello everybody. I just pushed a couple of buttons wrong. I used to do this so wonderfully and so smoothly, and now I don't do that anymore. I guess But anyway, hello to all of you. It is Thursday, and this is the day when nobody calls. Okay, so we do have one caller waiting, and it's a quality caller, but we just don't get very many callers on Thursdays, and that's why I'm thinking about doing away with Thursdays. So, who knows? Who knows? Who knows? Who knows? But anyway, I'm having a little bit of a sore throat tonight. Marjorie's sick, so I'm probably getting whatever she's got. So who knows? Anyway, let's bring some of these people in here. Let me see. Yeah, let's do that. We're getting them to. Okay, yeah, there they go. There's Alan, and there's Josh, and there's me. Okay, let me just put them all on so I can let you see them. And here we go. Hello, everybody. How are you this evening?
I'm doing good.
Doing good? You're doing good. Okay, I'm glad you're doing. Anyway, they're doing good, and Josh is with us again because he's not working tonight. So, did you work during the day, or is this your day off?
This is my day off. I work tomorrow.
Yeah. Was yesterday your day off too?
Yeah.
Wow, that's good. Hey, here
Only
comes.
for another couple weeks, and then I go back to a regular schedule.
Ah, good. Tom Yamaguchi. Hello, Tom. How are you? Tom, can you hear us?
Yeah,
Oh, okay. I just wanted to. All you have to do is respond to me. Otherwise, I don't know whether you can
I
hear
just
us.
came on. I just came on.
Well, I know, but you were on.
Well, I just came on.
Oh,
I just came on as you were saying, can you hear us?
oh, I see. Okay, all right. Anyway, I don't want to argue with you about that.
I was busy looking at your warning the Zoom bomber screen. So your Zoom bomber screen.
Yeah, yeah, that's really worked well. No, actually, it's worked pretty well. To tell you the truth, I mean, Plus, they don't try anymore because I don't ever let them on. If I don't know who the person is, I simply put my face up, and then
Right.
they can do whatever the little bombing they want to do, and it doesn't go out over the
Right.
air. But anyway, so here we are. I was watching tonight. She's just pathetic all the time. I was watching the Al Smith dinner here in New York. Do you know what the Al Smith dinner is? It's a dinner held by the Catholic Archdiocese, and they get all these people feel, I guess, pressured to show that even though they are Jewish, they like Catholics. So people like Chuck Schumer show up, and they're sitting next to Donald Trump, and they held it tonight, and what they do is this time of the cycle, and I think they only do the dinner once every 4 years. Okay, they invite the two presidential candidates to come and to do it's like a little roast, and they can tell jokes and things like that. So, what's her name? Kamala couldn't show up. She couldn't show up and be there, but she made a video for the dinner, which was very funny. Used one of the SNL people from years ago, and did comedy very well, I'll have to admit. I was amazed. Her sense of timing was exquisitely good. They did this thing, and she did that, and then she was through, and it was pretty simple. It was like about 7-8 minutes long, maybe. And now it's time for Donald Trump to get up. He must have been up for an agonizing half hour and wandering from one subject to another and didn't know whether he was going to put people down or not put them down. I mean, he had a couple of funny lines, but then he would go off book, and he would start going after Kamala and her and how terrible she is and how horrible. And it was just, he was just horrible. I mean, it was just, the man is losing it. Just absolutely losing it.
I hear Chuck Schumer had a bulletproof vest on.
No.
Having to sit next to Trump.
No. He I mean, they were palling it up a bit because he said the first check that was ever written to Chuck Schumer for him to run for office was written by Donald Trump. They were a little chummy with each other, as nice as, well, I mean, let's face it, Chuck Schumer has to be decent to Donald Trump because it's a kind of a dinner where nobody gets hostile with anybody else. But he managed to put a few slams into Schumer. And right below at the very bottom was Bloomberg, former Mayor Bloomberg of New York City. And he's sitting there looking like this is the worst thing he's had to do in his entire life. There's not a single exchange of expression on his face. Now, either he's so far gone that he doesn't have expressions anymore, although I've seen him in public and he gives talks to people and he seems to be fine. It's just like, I think he was just not happy having to deal with listening to this idiot go off book and do the kind of things that are not in the good spirit of it. At one point, there were people applauding him a lot, and there were about, I don't know, maybe 25% of the people there probably were for Trump. And then he said something, and they all booed, And he said, well, I guess I'm not that liked by some of the people in this room. No, you're not liked by everybody. Okay, get used to it.
I don't know how people find him entertaining. I don't find him entertaining at all.
Well, he would be entertaining if he wasn't a problem. Okay, I mean, if a person acted this idiotically, we would laugh at him. But he's running for president of the United States. And that's where you part from this, And
calling people the enemy from within.
Yeah, he calls them the enemy from within. That's one of his big things now. I guess you and I are the enemy from within, right?
I guess so.
Guess so. Yeah.
I guess we all are.
Yeah, but
we don't like Trump, so therefore.
I mean, in the last moment, I honestly think it's going to go one way or the other. Either Kamala's going to lose, or she's just going to rout. Okay, she's going to do so well that people don't know why the polls didn't reflect that. But
oh, there's Jeff and his.
Moment, I think it's going to go one way or the other way.
I like to come back and show him how to actually mute the browser. He doesn't have to close the browser. All he had to do is mute it, like I did. There's a little microphone icon on the tab that you can just hit, and it just mutes.
Yeah, well, that's if you're using.
Tom, don't confuse him.
It's on Safari. It's on Chrome. It might be on Firefox. I don't know. I can show how to actually mute the browser. He doesn't have to close the browser. All he had to do is microphone icon on the tab that you can just.
In the top
there he is. He
right-hand
killed
corner.
it. He killed it. He got it. You got it, Jeff. Jeff, you got it.
He muted himself.
I don't know why you can't do this before you come on. You're okay now, though. Yeah. Nope. Now you just went bad again.
He was just muted. He just had himself muted, is what it was.
You got it, Jeff. Jeff,
Pam?
you got it.
Thank you.
So,
Oh, well.
You don't say.
he's got himself muted, so he'll just hear everything we say twice.
You know, the easiest thing to closing a browser for me is to go, they're all in the same spot. The top right-hand corner, there's an X. And all you got to do is hit the X and it'll close.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's just you can go up to.
He'll be back.
What it is
Pam is working on it.
Yeah, but the thing is that there is on the browser, where along the top where you have your various tabs. Okay, you just go up to the tab. You right-click on the tab, okay, and it says unmute site or mute site, or unmute site, and you want to mute the site. So well, here comes Tony. He'll save the day. Anyway,
I don't really know why Harris, wouldn't go to the Al Smith dinner. I didn't care for that decision, but
well, she was somewhere else, and she did.
Well, they decided that a month ago. They said they wouldn't be there. Trump wasn't going to go originally, and then must have changed his mind. I didn't think he was supposed to attend, but he must have changed his mind just in the last few days, I think. But I read a month ago that she said they were not going to do it this year. They were going to skip it.
Yeah.
And I don't, not like upset with it. She did it. I'm upset that it had to evolve into this nonsense. I mean, years ago, that was very much along the lines of the White House Correspondents' Dinner, where everyone went out for the night, and they made fun of each other, and everybody in the room, and everybody had a laugh, and they raised a bunch of money.
Mm-hmm.
And, it was a nice evening off from the crap, and then they went back to normal, And not that long ago, Trump got his pussy hurt over whatever, someone saying something at one of those things, and now he either won't go, or when he does go, he acts like a whiner and cries. So
that was
now they've all turned into half nonsense. That's all I'm saying. That's not on Harris. I mean, that's I'm just saying now it's gotten to the point where it's like, oh, we won't just go. We'll just keep campaigning, and I mean, it just
Got his pussy.
he's eroded away at the political institutions, right? But he's also eroded away at everything nice that used to go along with him. Things like the White House Correspondents' Dinner that he wouldn't have when he was president because he's a whiny butt. I mean, just stuff like that. That's all. I don't know why she wouldn't go. They didn't really say. They just said that she wasn't going to attend, and like I heard that maybe, I don't know, 4 or 5 weeks ago.
But he said he wasn't going to attend either.
Yeah, he did. At that one time, they weren't going to attend, and I hadn't read that he had changed his mind.
Then all of a sudden, he decided to show up, and when he showed up, he said Kamala didn't show up.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know when he decided that, but at the time that I heard that she wasn't going, I heard that he wasn't going, and the reason that I heard was because Jim Gaffigan, the host tonight, the comedian, he had said how disappointed he was that, he was going to host the first Al Smith dinner with no presidential candidates, because that's what the whole thing's about,
Well, she made a tape. She made a
right. Yeah, I mean, she did do that, so that's fine.
She made a video for it. She wasn't stiffing it, but she's got a campaign to win. And quite frankly, if you want my opinion, I don't think that the Al Smith dinner is a major stop on the tour. Okay,
well, you're right. I mean,
and the reason why is number one, it's a New York thing. And she's going to win in New York whether she farts in everybody's faces here or not, I mean, she's just not going to have to worry about it.
Yeah, fair enough.
So,
I mean, my point, just for me, as someone who loves to follow politics and has seen these things for years, I just sucks that he's had to ruin something else, you know?
Yeah. Well, the thing
Because
is
10
that
years ago, whatever,
yeah,
everybody would go to these things, have their laugh, and it was an entertaining evening. You know what I mean? That's all I'm saying. And
yeah.
then he had to, so he's ruined that. You know, it's what's next? You got to ruin
Well, if
baseball
this
or
weren't
something?
such a contentious, uh, what do you call it, campaign,
Yeah,
I don't think either of them would have minded being in the same room together.
that's my real point.
But he's made it so contentious. You know, he better be glad she didn't show up.
Yeah.
You know, because in fact, she did show him up even with this little film they put together. She was there with a woman from Saturday Night Live, the one who did the stuff with the armpits that I never found very funny,
Yeah.
who's supposedly a
Was that
girl.
Molly Shannon or no?
Huh?
Was that Molly Shannon?
Molly
who did it?
Shannon, yeah.
Me and my sister met her in the village one time, a couple
Yeah,
of months
yeah.
ago.
But anyway, so they were. She was in this thing with Kamala, and then Kamala did a little bit with her, and then she left, and then Kamala just said how wonderful it was that they hold this dinner every year and did some very nice stuff. So I mean, why did she have to be there in person? She went out of her way to do something, to be part of that dinner, even though she couldn't be there. You know. But then his first opportunity, he's like, she didn't think enough of the Catholics here to show up. You know, well,
She could reverse that easily and say he didn't show up
to
at
begin
Fox
with,
News.
I want to know how much of this money they raise at this Catholic dinner goes to paying off, suits and things like that against them by children who've been molested over the years. You know. It just, I mean, it just it bothers me that if you don't show up, you're not a good sport. You know, and I quite frankly, I mean, it's the kind of power the Catholic Church has held in this country for years, but recently they don't enjoy that kind of popularity or that kind of power, and so why people keep showing up for this dinner? I mean. Bloomberg looked like he didn't even want to be there.
Well, yeah, it loses its luster when it becomes about, being a whiny butt rather than what it used to be. I mean, that's all I'm saying is he's just been so toxic through everything in politics. You know what I mean? Like I used to sit down once a year and watch the White House Correspondents' Dinner, and I still do because we're having it again. But like the ones that they had, I think when he was president, he wouldn't go to, and I mean, he's just such a whiner.
And
about
he had
everything.
one really funny line, but I can't remember what
Ruined it.
that line is right now.
That must have been good then.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was good actually, and I can't remember what
I mean,
it was.
Harris couldn't be there because she went to see Patrick in Wisconsin. So
Trying to get his vote.
They're having dinner tonight.
Yeah, actually, she was in Wisconsin today.
he was, yes.
Yeah, she had a great line, by the way. I mean, okay, if somebody yells something at a Trump rally to Trump, what does Trump do? Throw him out, or I want to punch that guy in the face. You remember that one?
Yeah.
Every time somebody does something like this, get him out of here right now.
Yeah.
Get out of it.
There were a couple of Trump people at Kamala's rally. You know what she said? She said, "You must have come to the wrong rally." She said,
Yeah.
"I think you want to go to the one down the road with less people." And turned it into a joke. Something Trump could never bring himself to do. So
Surprise.
yeah, surprise.
Yeah, I mean, that was just my thinking on it when I looked into it a little bit more tonight. It's just like, they've just take some of the shine off of it because, it's just evolved into what it is. And
Well,
so,
did you hear the Al Smith dinner tonight?
No, I hadn't. I
Oh.
actually totally forgot it was tonight
Yeah.
until I just had it on C-SPAN a second ago, and on the website, not on the channel, and I saw Jim Gaffigan's face in a
Yeah.
thumbnail picture, and I was like, oh, that was tonight, So then I look, and I typed it in to look at something, and I saw Trump win. I was like, oh, I didn't think he was going to go, but I knew she didn't because I knew she was in Wisconsin today.
Yeah.
So, you know, yeah, but I'll sit and watch it. I mean, you can go play the video back.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Or something.
It was he was very boring, very very boring.
Well, he usually drones on, you know, with his grievances. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, you know, it's.
I know you guys don't like to see, you know, the stuff that I send sometimes. Did you look at that Univision?
Well, I had seen it already. I had seen it already.
Okay.
Yeah, I replied to you. Yeah, I saw. That's what I'm saying. I replied to you, and I had seen not every minute of it, but I had seen a good deal of it.
The only thing that attracted me to it was the fact that these guys did not hold back.
Right.
That they went at him with the hard questions, especially the guy that asked about January 6th.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he called it a love fest. You guys may have talked about that already.
Yes, Trump
this
called
guy
it
is out of his gourd.
called it a love fest.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
just
it was nothing
Trump
but
must
love.
have had a glass table that he liked to get under. A love fest. You were talking about with
now you know if you have to explain them, they aren't worth telling.
Well, you should know what it is. It was on your half-hour show before this.
Oh, were we talking about that on the? I never listen to the interviews after I do them. I'm in another room doing stuff. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
So I don't hear it. But you know, it's
No,
just
I saw a lot of those answers and Kevin sent that link, you know, and I looked at it, you know, and I mean that's what I told, you know, I replied to him was like, yeah, I saw. I mean, you know, it's,
Yeah.
you know, and then this morning I think maybe it was this morning on MSNBC or whatever. It's like, finally, now that General Milley came out and used the word, now it's like other people are openly bringing themselves to be able to be like, oh yeah, Trump's a fascist. I mean, it's like they were all so shit scared of using the word all this time, even though I've called him that for years.
And by the way,
now, all of a sudden, because General Milley broke through, they're all like, yeah, he's a fascist.
Who would know it better if somebody was a fascist than a military leader?
Yeah, then the chairman
Right.
of the chief staff. Yeah, not just a military leader, the military leader.
Yeah. And I don't think he's the kind who would just call somebody a fascist.
I don't think he is either, because I think he's already had more attention in his life for that crap than he ever wanted, and I don't think he wants a minute more of it, you know, but I also think that he felt like it needed to be said.
Well, I think that Milley is also, we will have to say, a little bitter over the fact that he was dragged out in the middle of the street where they cleared the street. You remember? And he went across to the church with the Bible.
He made it clear he was pissed off at that.
Yeah, that he didn't like being used like that, that the military was not something you used, and he felt used. I don't know why he went out there. I think he was just asked, come walk with me or something. You know?
I mean, his story is that he didn't know that that's where they were going. It was just, that's what it was a just walk with me thing. And before you know it, that's where they'd walked, you know, but.
And that's where he held the Bible upside down.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that one was probably made in America, I'll bet.
That one was made in America. Yeah. It turns out the Trump Bibles are all made in China.
Yeah, exactly.
That allows him to sell it at a 500% markup, probably.
Well, no, they only cost $3.50 a piece to produce, leather binding and all, and they sell them for $55. And hey, what is it you could buy for $1,000 or something that he was selling?
Coin?
Huh?
Yeah, he's doing a coin now.
A coin.
What is with this? I mean, have you ever had a president you know of that merchandised? I mean, they did it to raise money for the cause or for the election or for the campaign. But I don't think that's where the money's going. I think it's going straight into his pocket.
I mean, it probably is, and if he's running it through one of his businesses, that's legal. You know, I mean, he's just selling something. That's, you know, he's not selling to steal the presidency. He's just selling himself. So.
Well, I mean, the only way he's wound up making money lately is by hawking all these wares. You know, he certainly doesn't have any money left otherwise.
No, and I heard the stock of his Twitter company thing that he has or whatever was in the toilet. It's about to, I think it's almost damn near bankrupt, whatever that company he
The
has.
Truth
But-
Social.
Yeah, okay.
But he may have already sold a lot of
Yeah,
his
I think
stock
he cashed
now.
it out.
I would have, right. Yeah.
Because he had to hold on to it, I think, until a couple of months ago, because you can't sell your stock until then. And then he probably sold a lot of it, and that's why it dropped like crazy.
Whoever bought that gets exactly what they deserve.
They're buying it back though, because it's DJT, Trump Media and Technology Corporation. It was around 7, and then he said, "I'm not taking any of my money back." And then today it closed at $30 a share.
What, it's $30 went up?
No, is it? Oh yeah, that's
It
What
sure
is
is.
it?
I'm looking right at it.
oh DJT or DJ.
Not that I own it, but I follow it.
Damn it, that's all Biden's fault.
Yep, absolutely.
So the stock's up to $30 now. Why? Because he said he wasn't.
Less than half of what it originally when it originally.
Yeah, but it went down lower than that.
Oh yeah,
And,
it was
and so
around
he
7.
said he wasn't selling his shares, so then it
Yeah.
went back up.
I don't know what they call it, ex-dividend day or something like that, where he can get access to his money. He said he wasn't going to take any of the money, so people started to buy into it again, and then they found out he took some of the money.
See, that's what I figured he was going to wind up doing.
And well, he needs some money. He's got a lot of
Something?
lawyer bills.
Isn't that illegal?
I don't know.
It's his money. I don't see how it's illegal.
No, it's
Depends
illegal.
on how he's got it. He's not putting in his campaign. It's
Well,
not
no,
illegal.
but it's on the stock market. It's on the stock exchange.
There are certain rules around.
He had to hold it for
And
so
if
many
he
months
if he
before
said
he
yeah,
got
but
it.
if he
Oh, yeah,
says
yeah, yeah.
okay, I'm going to sell it, and then the stock goes down, so he says okay, I'm not selling it. The stock goes back up. Isn't that stock manipulation?
Elon Musk got a little trouble for that.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know?
I think he's got
Pretty similar.
bigger things to worry about.
Remember, we used to have a.
the SEC has to do that.
Yeah.
What were you going to say?
Sorry.
Remember, we had a vice president who eventually got kicked out, but he was in all kinds of financials.
You read Agnew.
Yeah,
Spiro Agnew?
Spiro
Spiro
Agnew.
Agnew?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know how much money he was involved in it or what.
Yeah, he was taking bribes.
Yeah.
Well, he was actually before governor. I think he was like on the school board on Towson.
Well, he stopped being vice president, and they appointed Gerald Ford to be vice president,
Yeah.
and then Nixon decided to resign
Right.
from office, and Gerald Ford became president, and he's a great trivia question. Name one president who never was elected to that office, and that would be Gerald Ford.
Yeah,
Well,
who was
Donald
his vice
Trump.
president?
Hmm?
And who was his vice president? Aha.
Ah,
Yeah.
did I don't
I bet Josh knows.
Okay,
Johnson.
wait a minute. I don't think.
Nelson Rockefeller.
Yes, you're right.
Nelson Rockefeller.
Yeah.
Didn't he die in bed with a prostitute or something? I think
That's he was the one.
I remember reading on
Had
that.
a
Well,
heart attack.
that's not the way. That's not the way the obituary wrote.
Well,
You know,
that's the way it
read.
happened. He had a heart
how it
attack
happened,
while
yeah.
with his mistress, and they would have lived if they had actually given him medical care right there, but they dragged him back to his office.
That's got to be funny. I mean, holy shit. With the bullets. Oh my god.
Yeah, they dragged him
That's a
back
good
to his
day.
office so he wouldn't be caught with his girlfriend.
You know what I was going to tell you? Funny you talk about stock.
Who
with
was
Trump.
his wife, by the way, at the time? Hold on a second. Happy,
Happy.
Rockefeller. Happy Rockefeller.
Yeah.
My wife is happy. Are you sure? Yeah. Anyway, what were you going to say?
You know what Trump does? I mean, maybe it's just me in my head. When he was in office, what he does is he was talking. He would talk about certain tech companies. He would actually manipulate the stock itself by like, oh, I'm going to go after this. He did things in nefarious ways with his words that did drive stocks down for the week. So even though you can't pin it on him, he was shrewd in how he words things. Same thing with his tariffs, because if they put these tariffs through, it's going to hurt certain companies. And don't think these big stock companies or people don't short these companies to make money.
So he's not the only one that's ever done this. I don't think it's against the law.
No, but I mean,
No, it is against the law. It
really is.
It is against the
Other
law.
presidents didn't do this, though.
Am I right, Josh? It's against the law, isn't it?
Exactly. What do you mean?
Well, when you start saying things and making statements that then make the stocks go up and down.
I mean, I don't know a ton on that, but I believe there are some things like that where you can't do it. I mean, that's what I'm
Especially
saying.
when you,
Musk got in trouble
yeah.
once or twice, and I think got fined for saying similar things. Oh, I'm gonna sell some Tesla stock.
Exactly.
And then the next day it was like, oh no, just kidding. You know, and I think he got investigated. I think he got a fine. You know, I mean.
Well, you see, that's because he was saying these things about stocks that he had money in.
Right.
And the same thing is true with Trump. He has money in Truth Social.
Yeah, if you make sort of non-factual statements about it, I think it can get you in some trouble. I mean,
Right.
I don't know if it. I mean, it'd have to be some sort of serious like fraud to be prison time or whatever. But I mean, I think it can get you in.
Well, they would be looking for insider trading.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it can lead to things like that. I mean, it can cost you some money, fines and things like that. I mean, Musk had to pay a pretty decent fine, if I remember right.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I think it was several $1 billion.
I can't remember. I thought his mouth ended up costing him, a decent amount of money. I mean, I don't remember if it was super high, but
yeah, it was certainly enough.
Yeah.
And keep in mind too that Josh, we never saw his tax returns, and that's a big reason why. Because everything is hidden with him. I still can't get over how people are voting for this madman. Really, I can't wrap my head around.
Also, forget about just that his medical records.
Yeah.
I mean, what's her name? Kamala took medical tests and everything so she could show the American public how healthy she is or isn't. And of course, he found something wrong with that, because she has acute rhinitis. And he said, you can't have a president with that.
He said that?
Well, you know what that is?
What is that?
It's hay fever. It's allergies.
I was going to say, he said something about everything.
I mean, he's talking about how bad it is that she has allergies. She's not fit to be president because she has rhinitis.
Yeah, like I said, she could sneeze to death at almost any moment.
Yeah, exactly.
One wrong sneeze.
Yeah, I mean it's ridiculous. I mean, God, I mean, I just can't believe this man is running for office.
That's what I'm saying. Me and my brother said the same thing. How are we back in with him again? I blame the people, man.
I thought we were rid of him 4 years ago.
That's what I thought.
Well, there's some people that we all know that used to come on the show here that still think he's God.
Well, I don't know why they think he's God. I mean, come on. Let's talk for a minute about the immorality of the man.
I don't know, because they don't have anybody else to vote for. They won't vote for Kamala, so the staunch Republicans are going to vote for who's ever in there.
Well, yeah, I wish there were a third party running. So those people would have somewhere.
There's a whole bunch of parties running.
Well,
Jill Stein is running again.
They never have a chance.
Well, they certainly have a chance to spoil it for the Democrat, like Jill Stein did in 2016.
Here's a question, AX, Tom, and you guys, even you, Alan, who's saying these people are so staunch with Trump, right, Josh? And Josh will probably agree with this. If Kamala Harris said the election was fixed and did all the things that he said and acted like, she wouldn't even have a shot.
Well, I don't understand the question.
Meaning, like, if she denied, like, if she said the election was fixed, like he said, they would laugh her out of the room. If she pretty much, everything like he lies about, the dogs eating cats, if she did all this rhetoric that he did.
Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah.
It's like they'd be like, all these people would be like, she's crazy.
Yeah, Fox News would want
They
her
like him because of his ignorance, really, I think.
Oh, they would they go crazy, but she'd never do that. So
No, but if she did, Alex, they would look at her like a crazy woman. Oh, look, she's a crazy woman.
Can you imagine?
well, they still
Joe
say she's a
Biden?
crazy
Can you
woman.
imagine Joe Biden dancing on stage
Yeah, like this.
for 39 minutes? And what would they say about Joe Biden? He's got to resign immediately, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, at least Donald knows how to use two of his hands at one time.
Well, I also am tired of him doing this. When he's talking.
Well, he's talking about his sexual organ size. It's more like this.
No,
They
it's
make it
more
sound-
like this. Anyway.
You know what's funny too, Alex,
What?
and even you guys? They make it sound like he was like the greatest president we ever had. I must have missed something.
Yeah, I missed something too. I think there's a mass amnesia that has gone on in this country that says this guy was a great president. I mean, you can take every measure possible. The economy wasn't better under Donald Trump. Is that what? By the way, is that what Phil says? The economy was better under Trump.
Yeah.
Show me where it was better under Trump.
$2 a gallon gas.
No, but that's not the basis of how good an economy is or isn't.
And the president really doesn't have any control over price of gas anyhow.
Do you know what's happened to our Dow Jones average?
It's at
Yeah,
all-time low.
It's the
It keeps
highest
hitting
it
new
has.
highs.
It's higher than it's ever been.
Absolutely, that's what I just said. It keeps hitting new highs. I have stock.
And don't we call
Apple
the
stock
stock
looking great.
market a barometer of the economy?
Absolutely.
Remember Trump said, Alex, in 4 years, the stock market's going to crash. Didn't happen.
No.
I mean,
It
So it's
goes
gonna happen
every now and
again,
then.
too.
It does a crash, and a couple of months ago, when I first put my
Yeah,
money
yeah,
in, it tanked, a lot, and I went, oh my god! And everybody said, just wait, just wait. And now here we are, about 4 months later, and it hits an all-time high.
I thought the market would have gone a lot lower when COVID hit around the world, but it actually didn't drop until a year later.
Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah. But I mean, we're at an all-time high. Come on, Trump. Well, how high was it when you were president? Wasn't this high?
Nope.
And there are all these experts who say that his tariff idea is insane. It's absolutely insane.
It's
It
great
helps.
to punish the other country. The trouble is who pays for it.
It doesn't
All
punish.
all of us pay for it.
They do it, yeah.
Doesn't
Well,
punish.
his-
It doesn't punish them at all.
His solution to everything is to energy. If you lower the energy that it costs to turn on the lights and start up a machine and everything else, if you lower that, then everything else comes down.
But you know what? It's funny, guys. The guy couldn't run a casino, like you said, Alex, but all of a sudden he has the answers to everything.
Who the hell goes bankrupt that owns a casino? Come on.
All of a sudden, Trump's the great businessman. He's not. Even Mark Cuban is stuff.
Well, you see, the thing was, here's what happened. Here, the guy to blame is what's his name? Who was the producer of The Apprentice?
The Apprentice. Who did that?
Yeah,
Mark Burnett.
the guy. He also does Shark Tank.
Mark Burnett.
Yeah.
Mark Burnett.
Yeah.
Survivor,
Yeah.
Shark Tank.
Yeah.
Apprentice.
You got to blame him for Trump, because what he did is he took Trump, who was this absolute loser businessman, put him in a big high back leather chair, in beautiful suits with beautiful lighting, and then he would point his finger and go, "You're fired."
Thank God.
And gave America the idea that this guy was a great
you're right.
businessman. That's
Well,
where
and
they
that's
get
what he-
their notion of him as a great businessman. They can't tell. Let me just finish here, and then I'll
Sorry.
go to you. They cannot tell the difference between reality and television,
Excellent
and
point.
that's the problem. Yes,
No, that's what he was emphasizing in that town hall on Univision, that anybody that came under him just got fired. If he didn't like them, they got fired. If I don't like them, they got fired. If they didn't like me, they got fired. I fired him.
Tony brought up an interesting point. Mark Cuban, the billionaire
Yeah.
that we all know about, He said Trump is the world's worst businessman he has ever seen.
And he never backs people out of the company. Like Cuban would back other people with nest money. Trump only backs family businesses or himself. Never anybody else.
Mark Cuban only has about $5 billion, but he could, with $5 billion, buy and sell Donald Trump.
That's almost as much as the guy that owns Gabnet has.
In Gabnet bucks.
I think he sold them.
Gabnet dollars.
I shouldn't have said that. The stock's going to go down.
The stock's going to go down, right? Yeah. Anyway, no, I just, I think that it's kind of, sad that America has gotten to the point where it can't tell the difference between real life and television.
Yeah.
And the idea that a reality show got a guy elected president. I mean, no other factor did it. No other factor gave people the idea, oh, this guy must know how to handle money. No, I mean, out there are people that are far richer than he is, have made far more money than he has, is far more successful than he is, and none of them are thinking of running for president.
I mean,
or having a TV show.
You know, my brother said, Alex, he was looking at that clip with Bloomberg. Bloomberg must be sitting there. Maybe he called him Little Mike. Bloomberg must be sitting there saying, "This guy's an imbecile, and he's going to be at the throne again." That's why he's got a shitty grin on his face. Trump is like the villain that's coming back to lord over us. It's crazy.
I don't think, in my opinion, there's any way that Trump's going to get elected.
I hope you're right.
I don't think he is either.
I think it always looks bad right now because all the networks are ginning it up. They want to make it, you got to watch on an election night where we'll sell the ads for twice what we sell them for any other night. And leading up to it, they're turning, you know what they're doing? They're turning this election into a reality show.
I'm going to get Chinese.
Exactly.
Hope they don't get sick, though.
Am I right, Ray?
Oh, I agree with you 100%. I think he's going to lose.
You think so?
I mean, yeah. Well, Roe versus Wade, for one thing. There's going to be so many women coming out and voting against him. The Latino population is, for the most part, is completely against him. Even the Republican Latino population.
Why are the Latinos against him in particular?
Yeah, we're talking about.
Did you?
Oh, but I would if I were Latino, I would be mad just because
the black community is going to come out.
Well, because of the whole immigration thing.
Yeah.
What
was it? The Haitians were the ones eating the dogs, he said? Was that them?
Yeah, well, they were eating the dogs.
Yeah, they're probably
not enough Haitians.
And Alex, the Jews cost in the election if you don't win. He gets everybody. Nobody's safe with this guy.
He's still insisting they're eating dogs. He's still insisting.
Really?
He just said that yesterday again.
He said it.
You know what I mean? He just keeps lying.
Well, I'm glad.
The funny thing is J.D. Vance said he made it up.
Yeah.
We can't get over this shit.
And once you hear it, you may as well continue.
Well, amazing. Yeah, it's amazing what it does to these populations, and in certain communities, Haitians have been. There's been an influx of Haitians into certain communities. Springfield was one of them, because they came to the United States seeking refuge from all the problems that were going on in Haiti. And the United States put them up here, and they were paying for them. They gave them immunity, and they were paying cities to take them.
And Springfield, the mayor of Springfield said that they needed the help for workers in Springfield.
That's right, and that they've actually been a very nice influx into Springfield. Their lives now are being ruined by this rumor that they eat pets,
Well, that town was only 20,000 people, and 32,000 Haitians came in and ruined the whole town, is what he said.
I don't think
bad genes. They have bad genes.
Well,
he disparaged those people and the Latino group in that town hall yesterday like no tomorrow. They were sitting there. If you saw the crowd shots, they're sitting there going.
They were pissed.
They're shaking their heads. The one guy, I'm going.
He didn't answer the questions.
He goes to a thing of black correspondence, and then he does that whole deal about, well, is she Indian or is she black? I don't know.
Yeah.
1 minute she's Indian, 1 minute she's black, and they're all going, what is with this guy?
He's losing it.
I mean, he can't. He will. He's. It's almost like he wants to lose.
Yeah.
Well, he does, so he can bitch.
She went to an all when she got her higher education at an all black university.
She's always identified as black
Right.
Okay.
her whole life.
Well, let me put it this way. I would put. She never brought this up to Donald Trump, and she should have put it this way. You said you didn't know whether I was black or not, but if I tried to rent an apartment 30 years ago that you owned, you wouldn't have rented to me. So what am I?
Case closed.
Yeah.
Can I ask you a question then, guys? Even like, do you think he's saying this, Ray, because he's almost like saying, "I'm a racist, and I'm going to say it to your face because you can't do nothing about it."
Well,
Like remember with the Proud Boys, stand back and stand ready, right? Like on the speech.
Well, it appeals to his base, and he knows that, so that's why he's doing it. Problem is I don't think his base is big enough to win the election.
But Ray, do you think he's an outright racist?
Well, you know what? You know what?
I think he just does whatever. I think he's racist at his core. I mean, remember the Central Park Five and all
he
that.
put the full page ad.
And the whole thing
that
was
was racism.
Obama's birth certificate, and we can go on and on about stuff. Yeah. And the fact that he wouldn't rent to blacks 30 years ago.
Yeah.
And was
Those are
cited by
three-
the government and fined by the government for that. Yeah.
Those are three huge things. Right
Did you
there.
raise your hand, Jeff?
Yeah, a lot of people who are Republicans who are supporting him are able to say on a daily basis without any issues, well, the reason he wasn't president is because the Democrats destroyed him and ripped them off and sent people to take care of his ability to win.
Yeah. Well, some of them believe that too,
I know.
I mean, it's the big lie. It's the big
And
lie.
they support that.
Yeah. I don't know.
I heard the other day that his father, I don't know if this is true or not, but his father was friends with Hitler.
No, I don't believe so.
I don't think so.
No.
Okay, I didn't fact check.
Where'd you hear that one?
On MSNBC.
No.
Just gonna say that as a joke.
Oh, that's probably what it was.
Yeah.
I just heard
I
the
was gonna
tail
say
end
that
of
as a
it.
joke.
So,
No, I don't think.
he was a crook, that's for sure.
In fact, his father. How old was his father when Hitler was in power?
Well,
He
was
probably-
it Fred Trump? Was that his dad?
Huh?
Was his father Fred Trump? I think.
Fred Trump. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
Yeah, well,
What's
this
his age?
Trump is almost 80, right? He's 78 or 79.
78. Yeah.
Yeah.
The 79.
Father maybe would have been 20 or 30 years older than him. So
Well, I
that would go
never
back
heard.
to- you
Yeah.
can take that back to the 1930s.
I never heard that
shit,
about
I
him, but the
remember
fact
that.
that if you want to throw something at Trump at the feet of Trump, it's that he reads all these books about Hitler, and pretty much emulates him. Look at how
Pretty
Hitler
soon
came.
he'll be if you don't want the Bible, he'll sell you Mein Kampf signed by Donald.
Well, it's just amazing to me that he's, he is what he is, and he gets away with it. And the American, at least 49% of the American public believes in him. And that's what's so terrible about America
That's what's
today.
scary, like you said.
Yeah.
Alex, can I ask you a question? Is Trump worse than McCarthyism, you think?
Oh my God! Yeah.
It's a different breed of animal. Okay, because McCarthyism and the whole McCarthy thing and the whole House Un-American Activities Subcommittee was basically a witch hunt, if you ever want to talk about a witch hunt. And it went and just went after people in Hollywood or in the military or whatever who they accused of being communists and therefore literally robbed them of jobs. It got to a point where they couldn't work anymore because they were considered to be communists. In the case of Trump, you just got you have an authoritarian who wants
He
to
calls
be
us the enemy
president.
within, too. Now he's like, you don't agree
No,
with
but he
him,
wants.
you're the
He's
enemy.
right. Am I right, Josh? He's an authoritarian, right? If he's anything, huh?
Yeah, he's a fascist. I've always thought he was a fascist.
Well, an element of fascism is authoritarianism.
Right.
Yeah, right. I
Yeah.
mean, when you choose to exercise your political will over those who disagree with you through violence and, the closing off of, any dissenting opinions through a closing off of the political process where you bring them,
Yeah.
you combine those things together, that's fascism.
Yep.
Yep.
And those are the two of his main goals.
Yep.
And it's,
Plus, he's turning that
and like
on
I
her
said,
too. He's turning that on her too and calling her a fascist.
Yeah, right.
What the fuck? Where does that come from?
Yeah.
How do you
mean,
call
those-
her a
those-
fascist?
Well, he likes to label
He does,
people
because he-
Yes.
I've heard him say, these radical people on the left are communist and what he uses some Marxist and fascist. I heard that
Yeah.
one today. Communist, Marxist, and fascist. Like if he could spell all three of those words right now, I'll vote for him tonight. If he, if I could put a piece of paper down, and he could spell all three of those words. We'll vote.
I bet he couldn't spell.
Including
I
and.
bet he couldn't spell fascist.
Probably not.
I bet Tony can't spell fascist.
Facist.
No.
Did I spell it wrong?
You missed the S.
Fascist.
And I did a Google search for Fred Trump, Alex. He was born 1905, died 1999. He died in the same hospital in Queen Mother, Long Island Jewish, of pneumonia. Shit, so he's got good genes, Alex. He lived till 93 years old.
Really?
Yeah.
I Googled whether or not he knew Hitler, and they said that that's a myth.
Yeah, I would imagine it is. But I mean, so it really wasn't the same. Don Giller's been writing here. Let's see here. Changing the channel. Got the Hamas leader. Oh, they got the Hamas leader. We didn't mention that tonight.
Did they get him for sure, or they think they got him?
The Israelis say they got him. They have a
Yeah,
picture of his dead body in the rubble.
Okay.
So, so there'll be a new Hamas leader.
Exactly.
And in the meantime, while you were looking for this one Hamas leader, you killed almost 50,000 people. And you know what you're going to get for doing that? You're going to be getting 100,000 conversions to Hamas or into that kind of ideology, because there's every reason to hate Jews. If you're a person who's been living in Gaza, all you want to do is raise your family, and you're a kid just growing up in that, and your parents got killed, and you're living in the rubble, you're going to remember that. That's a scarring that's going to impregnate itself on your brain for the rest of your life. And do you think you're going to like the Jews? And you're not going to like the Jews because you don't like Israel. But Israel is not Jews. There are Jews that live in Israel. There are Jews that are a part of Israel. But I'm not in Israel. I'm a Jew. And I quite frankly think what happened in Gaza was just... It was absolute. It was horrendous,
I get so confused when I hear Jewish people on podcasts. There's one guy, I don't even know if I should mention his name. I know you know him. He's saying Israel's totally justified in what they're doing. He used to be on KGO. And I like this guy, but I can't even believe that he's saying this.
It's not justified. What's justified is if you take a measured response to go after Hamas,
Right.
but you don't kill people who get in the way. And what
Tens of thousands
of people, of kids and old people and whatever, that's it's ridiculous. It's just
and they
ridiculous.
destroyed all the infrastructure and the whole Gaza Strip,
Yeah.
and almost all the buildings are in rubble, and it's just the absolute human disaster.
Did Israel have a right to go after Hamas? Of course they had the right to go after
Yeah.
Hamas.
Yeah.
How much of Hamas did they get in combination with all the other people they killed? 50,000 of them that died. And for what? So they could get a handful of people? So they get this one guy?
I thought they had these great special forces that could go in and surgically pick out these
I'm
people.
telling
And
you
what
now,
happened
the
to that?
reason why Netanyahu has done what he has done and has prosecuted this war the way he has prosecuted it is because they were getting ready to put him on trial and throw him in jail.
Right.
And the only thing that prevented it was this particular action. And he felt as long as he kept it up, that kept him out of jail.
And it's still keeping him out of jail right now.
Yeah. Yeah, but remind you of anybody you know
Yeah.
who wants to be president to keep out of jail? Because, as soon as he loses this election, the 22nd of November, is the judge saying, you're guilty, you're going to get 2 years in prison. Wear the orange jumpsuit, goodbye. Yeah.
Take him into custody right there in the courtroom.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, but it's very similar to what's going on with Trump and the reason why he's doing what he's doing, why he's running for president so ferociously. He wants to keep out of jail.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
But who are you saying was the person that was pro-Israel, the radio?
John Rothman.
John, I don't even know who John Rothman is.
Oh, he's on KGO. He's been on there for a long time, and now he has his own podcast.
I never heard of him.
Listen to KGO all the time. I've never heard of him.
I've never heard of him.
I remember him.
Do you remember him?
He's really smart. Knows a lot. He worked in Washington for a long time. He knows a lot about politics, but for some reason he's complete hawk for Israel on this, and it really bothers me.
Well, you can't be a complete hawk in this situation. Yes. I mean, you got to care about the people who are caught in the middle of all of this, are caught in the crossfire, and that's the pain of it all. And I feel sorry for those people, and I feel sorry for the kids who have to grow up in the middle of it.
I do too.
We haven't heard anything from Tom Yamaguchi. Tom, did you have any thoughts on this at all?
I'll tell you, the whole thing with the Middle East, I don't even know what to. It's horrible. I agree with you. I mean, it's horrendous what's going on there. I don't know. I wish there was a two-state solution, but I don't know how we're going to get there. It's just really frustrating.
Well, certainly with what Israel is doing now isn't going to make things get any better.
Netanyahu doesn't want the solution. Netanyahu doesn't want it at all.
Nope.
So,
Yeah.
Wars are messy, no matter where you're at.
Yeah.
That's the big statement of the night. Wars are messy, folks.
Well, but civilians unfortunately are get injured and killed in wars.
They don't have to be
I think Netanyahu's going way out of his way to kill them.
Yeah.
I agree.
Plain and simple.
For selfish reasons.
I'm all for Israel protecting themselves. Protect yourselves. You've got an Iron Dome. Protect yourselves. Right.
Yeah.
You've got ways to protect yourself. We send you enough equipment to protect yourself, but not to use it against other people who are innocent of anything.
Right.
Exactly. Whenever I hear that, Israel has the right to defend themselves. Of course they do, but they don't have the right to commit, arguably genocide.
That's right.
And to destroy an entire people.
Something.
And now they're attacking other countries.
It is often said that people who are put upon by somebody often take on the trappings of the person that went against them because they realize they were effective at it, so they have to be the same way themselves. And I think Netanyahu has become the new Hitler. Okay? Look. Kevin is dancing to the music. Look. Everybody, let's do the jerking off of the elephants, something like that. Hey, thank you very much, Alan, for having joined us tonight. Josh, good seeing you here again. Always good to see you, Tom. I don't have to tell you, you can't call enough. And of course, there's Tony. Thank you. Thanks to Jeff. Thanks to Kevin. And thanks to Ray, who showed up tonight as well. I appreciate all of you being here. All of you give a big wave goodbye, and I'll give a big wave goodbye at you, okay? There they go, folks. They can't hang up on me fast enough. Anyway, let me just get rid of them. All right. And guess who's next? Yes, it's Amy Manuel, and she's here with The Intersection. She'll be taking your calls at on Skype at Gabnet Live. That's the address to call her in at Gabnet Live. We'll see you again tomorrow night for the final show of the week. It's our Friday edition, and it's tomorrow night. We'll be here at 10:30 Eastern. In the meantime, as always, you know what I tell you. If you see her, tell her I love her, okay? Bye-bye, everybody. Good night to you.